After the Dobbs decision overturning the right to an abortion, New York and several other states passed shield laws to protect doctors who prescribe abortion pills across state lines. Almost all abortions are illegal in Texas, and now that state's Attorney General, Ken Paxton, has sued a New York doctor who mailed the drugs to a woman in Austin, Texas, I believe. So this is the first of these shield laws that'll be tested in court. Now, in the age of Zoom and telemedicine, Chad, can one state dictate to another how what their policy should be?
So I'm going to look for legal precedent, and I'm going to be way off track, I'm sure, in thinking about this. But I was thinking about 2005's Granholm versus Heald decision, which Article 1 of the Constitution basically gives the federal government the right to govern interstate commerce, but the 21st Amendment gives states the rights to regulate the distribution of intoxicating liquors, alcohol. And the case itself ruled 5-4 that states cannot ban the direct shipment of wine while simultaneously authorizing direct shipment of in-state producers. But effectively, they can ban shipping altogether. Why I think that precedent might matter is because both of these laws pertain to the interstate delivery of drugs. And alcohol is not the only drug where the federal government has effectively ceded power to the states. And so I can imagine the courts siding with states' rights on this one.
Jenny?
Well, so this highlights, I think, the challenge we now face when the federal government steps aside and says, let's leave this to the states. So you have now states who are basically establishing conflicting laws and now are taking each other functionally to court. The thing is that the New York State shield law, right, sort of is potentially trumping Texas's ability to sue the physician in this case. And so I think ultimately you end up with functionally what looks like a stalemate. All of this strikes me as an opportunity for Republicans in Congress to argue that they need to establish a federal ban on abortion.
A federal ban, of course you could.
Because that resolves then this
even without the
state's
shield
issue.
law, how would Texas go on and enforce this? You know, I actually thought about this, probably not surprisingly, since I'm also an economist, in terms of interstate commerce. Yeah. And I looked into the alcohol laws. Now, while you mentioned the wine case, I mean, they do restrict, many states restrict interstate delivery of hard liquor and even beer. And so I thought of this less as a medicine case and more of a commerce case. What would liberal states think if a state that had very loose gun laws was shipping guns into another state? So I think this is something that probably will have to be dealt with at the federal level.
So this is just a Supreme Court decision waiting to happen.
And it was. When Dobbs was ruled on, Comstock, based on Anthony Comstock, was brought up, and that's it's considered a zombie law. But it was also in Project 2025 and discussed in there, and it outlines that you can't mail obscene things from one state to another, including things that have to do with contraception. So if that goes to our current Supreme Court, there's a chance that not only will be mentioned again, but part of the ruling.
You know, something else that can't be mailed across state lines is medicinal marijuana.
Right.
And so there's, I think, parallels on that topic as well.
And that is the Comstock Act. Comstock Act is what you're referring to.
Yeah.
Which is from
right. And
19th century.
And it is, but it's also something that we pull from when we're talking about child pornography that's traded from state to state as well.
Okay.